on this computer. Okay, so this is the third, is this our third meeting or fourth meeting? Our fourth meeting for the
Wow.
Deal Syndicate AAP. So kudos to everybody for coming. We're happy to see y'all and happy to help everybody. So I guess we can get started with what everybody's been doing this week. It's a holiday week, so.
I'm sure we're all anxious and excited to get this new year started off on the right foot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very, very much.
Yes, we
Yeah,
are. Yes, we
right?
are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
Well, Cedric, did you say that you have a friend there that wants to know what the business is? Yeah. Did I get that wrong?
Sorry.
There he is.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. It's breaking
No,
up a little
I was
bit.
just saying, did you say that you have a friend there that wants to know what the business is?
Oh, yeah. I'm waiting on him to come. He's I'm actually in the car with him. He went upstairs real quick. I'm waiting on him to come back down.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking it'd be better to start with that, but if he's not there, then carry on.
Yeah.
Nancy, you were going to say something.
Oh, no, nothing. That I mailed an inheritance list, and I have gotten a couple of calls
Good.
from that, so that's good. No bites yet, but at least my phone's ringing, so I'm happy
Where
about
did you
that.
pull the list from? Where did you pull that list from?
Oh, I did the US leads list, which to me, I mean, it's I've gotten quite a few calls from people that are telling me to pound sand
Yeah.
off that list. So I think that so far, I mean, it's only been, I just bought the last quarter's list. So far, in my experience, it hasn't performed any better than a probate list that I could download from the county for nothing. Then you have to have those lists scraped by a VA or you do it yourself, with the county records. But I mean, I mean, maybe it's just sort of this mailing campaign has been an anomaly, but I haven't found it particularly rewarding. But that being said, at least my phone's ringing.
Yeah, that's a
good thing.
real good thing.
Yeah.
John, how
Can you tell us what the parameters were when you put it in there?
Well,
I mean, just looking for inheritance or what?
Well, it's that list that Sean was talking about from US Leads list. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a list company, and they sell the inheritance list that he's always talking about. But it's a list of it's properties that have actually been through the probate process, and they're still owned by the families. But they it's pricey list. But they, and I had them do the mailing for me with the invitation style envelopes and all of that stuff. So people do open those, but you get, so far I haven't really gotten anybody going for it. Yeah. And I haven't really gotten anything off of,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You were going to use that for texting or cold calling or what?
I haven't started cold calling, or I need to run it. I was going to run it through skip trace and have, do texting because I'm working, I work 8 to 5. So it's kind of hard to call, at least, with my job, but I can text all day. So
yeah,
I'll probably end up trying to text these people. I'm not going to discount the list. I'll stick it into my regular rotation of postcards and just keep mailing to see if anybody pops up. My experience with probate in the past, the list that I would get from the county is that people hang on to your correspondence. And probate in particular, it may be months before you hear from somebody, but sometimes they'll just call you out of the blue from a mailing that you've mailed 3 or 4 months prior.
do you use a local number or an 800 number, toll-free number?
Local.
Do you? So you pick a local for every area. Do you do just where you are, or do you say pick Texas and then get a Texas area code?
No, I'm just doing for that inheritance list, you buy by the county.
Mhm.
So there's a county west of Jacksonville called Baker. I bought Baker, I bought Duval, I bought Flagler County down, Palm Coast
Okay.
area. So it's a county, so it's around me because I'm in Jacksonville.
Right.
Um,
Do you get your
but-
numbers on Freedom Logic, or do you use like Google Voice, or how you buying your phone numbers?
I I use a company called Bumber, but I'm going to switch over to Freedom Logic, I think, pretty soon. But I used Bumber for like years, and it's just basic. Like, I don't know if it would work with like a dialer or anything. It's just something that I used before. So, I've had these numbers for quite a while.
Okay.
All right, all right.
Chris, I think,
I got a couple of questions there. When you get somebody responding from a text, do you find that it's better to keep texting back and forth, or do you pick up the phone and talk to them?
I text it first, and then I ask them if they can talk on the phone. That way it kind of puts I try to give them as much choice. I mean, while still engaging them, but it's like if they want to keep texting, I'll keep texting. If they want to talk to somebody, or if they'll talk to me. I mean, sometimes it gets dumb, to keep texting. You got to talk to them a little bit, because they're some sellers can be very evasive on things like numbers and the condition of the property. It's hard to text all that stuff. It's hard to build rapport when you're texting.
Yeah.
I always just call them. If they text me back, I call them. Say,
Yeah.
oh, I just got a text from you.
Oh, okay.
The one that we did get from text that we have under contract, it was funny because he had responded to the text. Missy followed up and called
Oh,
him.
right. Okay. Yeah.
Then he called her back. So the original couple times was all communicating through the phone, getting all the information. But then he stopped responding, and now he'll only respond to text. Like, you can call him, he won't respond, but as soon as you text him, he's responding, which
Oh,
is really
weird.
kind of,
Well, maybe-
strange. He wasn't a very outgoing type of person. Like, he, when you talk to him, it was just very one-sided, like, just answering your questions, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. This is what it is. There was no.
Maybe you were calling him at work or something, and he couldn't really
No.
talk.
I think he just was kind of. I'm just
Kind
talking.
of flat.
Yeah.
I think he was just kind of an invert type person. I just don't think he's the type of person who really likes to.
Yeah, I'm still running the PPC campaign. I think I've gotten a total of 4 conversions and about no leads off those conversions, and like over 2,000 clicks. And hold on, I'll tell you.
We're getting some
Yeah.
conversions. Our conversions, we're not getting any.
Yeah, I've gotten just 4. Let me see. I need to go there. I've gotten a total since October. I've gotten a total of 208 clicks, 6.72 thousand impressions. Average cost per click is around $8.
That's good.
Yeah,
Not bad.
That's not
It's
bad
not
at all.
bad.
yeah. So, but I'm not getting any deals off of it. I mean, I just
That's either.
You're not getting anybody inquiring on your website or anything? No leads from that?
no.
We were talking about this just now too, because Charlie, I know you were on with Sean on that meeting. And it
Yep.
seems to be like these guys that are doing these big numbers, they have big budgets that they're putting into the
Yeah.
PPC. And I know last week we were talking to Kyle, and he was saying how he thinks, and he was going to try and find out more information about it. How he thinks now Google, like if you're not spending $400 or $500 a day, you're just,
Yeah.
you're nowhere with it. Now, whether or not that's true or not, we don't know. And I know he was looking into it. But we were talking today, it almost seems like, I think direct marketing for us more so, like with cold calling and texting and sending out yellow letters, I think is a better option, because you're not competing with so many people. Like with Google Ads, and we were just doing this, you go through 5, 6, 7 pages, I mean, I'm even seeing Sean's ads and he's like 4 pages in.
Yeah.
Right. So, so you're competing with all these people in front of you. Whereas if you're doing a list, a direct marketing list, I'm just saying, say you're doing a mailer. So say I mail and Charlie mails one house, if we all happen to be marketing the same area, now they have to choose from 3 pieces of marketing material if they're not going on the internet. Where they go on the internet, there's hundreds.
hundreds.
Well, you know,
You're of them clicking onto your, going and finding you and clicking onto you.
I've spoken with sellers though, and I've had, many of them tell me I've got a stack of
course.
postcards on my
Yeah.
desk,
Yeah,
and I'm just calling every one of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me what you're gonna pay me for my property
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, man.
Yeah,
What's your feeling on
I
that?
heard that before.
Because Stefan, you did postcards.
What's your feeling on what I was just saying as far as the marketing competing against, 1,000 people on Google versus maybe 3 or 4 people that might be direct marketing the same person that you're marketing?
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't been doing much with PPC for the last month just because of funds. But if it's true what you're hearing, that, they're only responding to people that pay a lot of money. My motivation to get into PPC was because I thought it would be seen by a lot of people. But if that's not working, then yes, you go back to text or cold calling. I don't know. I've done a lot of the cold calling as well, and that's a bit hit or miss.
Are you doing any specialized lists? Like, are you looking for code violations or probate or any of those lists that you can get off the county, delinquent taxes?
No.
Because the stuff that you get from I love REI Automator because it's very, very easy, and I'm a one-arm paper hanger here doing, like the rest of us, right? But it's great, it's easy, it's really fast, and with the county information, you have to have it scraped. You have to have somebody pull the specifics off of the county property appraiser and tax collector's office, but so you're hiring a VA. But I find that information is much more up to date. I think it's more accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get more
More-
names, and you do get returns, like some returns, but usually, I mean, the last tax delinquent mailing I did was off of the REI Automator, and I got a lot of calls from people saying that, or I didn't get a lot of calls, but a lot of, I started noticing, like checking the property appraisers. I just kind of went in and started looking, and a lot of them really weren't tax delinquent.
Yeah.
They may be behind. I think it was because it was the end of the year, like a bunch of them still were showing balances for 2021,
Mhm.
but that's really not tax delinquent. So I don't know, has anybody else had that issue?
We haven't done it.
I've not done tax delinquents lately. I think I started out doing that, but I actually pulled a list from DataZap, which was what Sean had talked about, I can think like last year.
DataZap.
Brandon said that nobody uses that anymore. So I don't know how viable the list is. I pulled like 3,200 names from it because I had a credit. So I figured, you know what, let me use the credit and see if maybe this list, maybe it's my lists that are not working. I'm pulling names that maybe aren't good. But I'm struggling right now with the SMS branding registration because the numbers that I did get so far, I'm getting carrier violations when I'm trying to send the texts out.
Wow.
So yeah, so like you can do a starter registration, and that doesn't cost anything. It gives you up to 5 numbers and you can send 3,000 texts a day. But I think the brand one that you pay for the standard brand is $44 to sign up for, and then it's $10 a month. But I believe, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, but I believe that it allows it to go through the carriers more easily. At least I'm hoping. So I'm waiting for clarification on it.
Are you doing that through
Freedom Logic.
Freedom Logic? Okay,
Yep.
because batch leads, it looks like all of them have the $44 charge to start up, and
Yep.
then the $10. I have not started my texting yet, but sorry, my voice is still whacked out. Uh, I haven't started my texting yet because I'm just getting my licensing stuff done. I gave him the UBI number first instead of the EIN number, and you know, it's
Right.
not one thing, it's five more. And I was gonna chime in earlier. I turned my PPC down to like $2 just to keep it alive
Mhm.
because I'm about $5,000 or $6,000 in, and I got 50 impressions. So I'm halfway to that $100 or that 100 mark,
Yeah.
Right.
but it's like $5,000 I've spent, and the
That's a
calls that
lot.
yeah, that's a lot. My credit card is getting maxed out.
Yeah.
And then the calls that I am getting are like out in the middle of nowhere. They're just boondocks land.
Yeah.
So some of them completely worthless. Others seem okay, but they're too far out the metropolitan area to be viable.
Hmm.
So I turned it down all the way to $2 just so that it didn't die. Because I guess that's what you don't want to do is stop it.
Right.
But I asked Sean this, and you might have seen him reply. All of my negative keywords disappeared, and he very I forget how he phrased it, but he was letting me know that he was very gently and lovingly telling me this, operator error. But I have to tell you, I I was so far removed from utilizing that thing with all of the discouragement that I had that I absolutely did not get in there and erase anything. There's
Mm.
4 negative keywords left in my list, and I don't know where those came from, and why all those didn't disappear. But I had more than 10,000 negative keywords in there, and they just vanished.
Wow.
And I'm
Wow.
telling you, I did not do it.
And the campaign, your campaign is still the same campaign? You didn't switch
Still,
campaign or anything?
well, that's what I said. I was so lax about dealing with it because it's still kind of clear as mud to me. It doesn't make total sense,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
so I hadn't been in there doing what needed to be done. And then I just kind of went back in there to see how many conversions I had after about 3 weeks, probably. I mean, I would get notified of some periodically, and I would see calls, but I hadn't done the maintenance work, is what I'm saying. So I hadn't been in there doing that. And then all of my keywords were gone, negative keywords, except for 4. I don't know why.
That's weird.
Anyway, I swear I didn't do it. And I know he just said with little kid gloves, operator error is basically what he was telling me, which I understand because I could screw it up, but I wasn't in there, so I know I didn't screw it up.
Huh.
Are you sure you don't have it like pages? Like, you know how sometimes they put like just 4 on a page and then you have to scroll backward?
Yes. Yep. I went in every different way. Like, golly, has it been so long since I've been in here that I don't even remember how to go there? Am I in the wrong place? So I dug out all of my notes to find out, nope, I'm doing everything right. So that's okay. I can just throw them back in there. It's not that big of a deal. The lists are easy to do. So it's not that big of a deal. Just the fact that they were gone was the oddity.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But anyway, it doesn't really matter if I turned it down to $2 anyway. It's not really doing anything. It's just basically breathing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a bad time of year anyway.
Yeah, I
You
know
know,
we're not getting any action whatsoever. No click,
Nothing.
nothing. I mean,
Nothing.
like dead. I
Mm.
think Stefan was kind of in the same boat. He wasn't getting anything.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
think
because
It seemed
before
Sean
we,
Hmm?
Sean shows us. Though, if there is one thing that is, I wish that the example given us was on an account like we can all afford to use.
yeah.
Having a display or an example of an account that spends thousands of dollars every day isn't very useful to us who are not even a tenth of the way there. We
Mhm.
kind of have to learn from those at our level.
Hmm.
So I I feel like I was just completely lost in there. And for now, having it kind of paused or set aside to minimal is probably best for me for right now. And I can revive it, when I got the big bucks rolling in.
Yeah.
and you will.
You
Yeah.
will. You
I think
will.
that we all have to sort of
It's a
wait for
win.
this
Takes
first quarter and see what happens. Like if the foreclosures actually start rolling in, we could probably target our PPC ads to that. And we'll just have to see. I mean, I don't know.
Well, right now, it's like, we're planting the seeds right now for harvest season, basically is what
Yeah,
that's the way
Yeah.
we're thinking.
Mhm.
And in hopes within the first quarter of this first year, things start really popping.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, Charles, you had sent out some yellow letters, like you.
I did.
That.
I
Have you
did.
had any
So I sent out, and I jotted some notes down from what everybody was talking about. So I sent out about 400 yellow letters. I got three calls off of it.
Oh, well,
3?
all right.
All right.
Three. One of which is, I think I told you a couple weeks ago, the gentleman's like, yeah, I want to sell, but I can't sell till April, May because of tax reasons. Because he had already sold the property I was interested in, but he had 3 others. And
Okay.
in the target area in Georgia. What's kind of interesting is since Sean sat down and played around with my PPC at the event,
Mhm.
I pulled in 8 leads this month, which is the most
all right.
I had in any month.
Good.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
awesome.
And all I've been spending is anywhere from $5 to now it's up to $22 a day because I keep
Wow, good for you.
increments of $1 or $2 every 2 days.
Right.
And I've got 5 I'm still chasing and 1 person who I'm negotiating with. And it just so happens it's in the area where I sent those letters to.
Okay.
So
Good.
what,
Letters,
Great news.
what areas
Yeah.
are you getting with your PPC? Are you doing the
well,
nationwide?
no, what I did was that's the other thing I do is I either add an extra state or I'll put a state that I don't want to go into because the one thing I kept hearing from people is if you throw too much information at once at this thing, then it has to recalibrate and it could take days to do that. So I only make a little click there. I'll take off some negative keywords.
Right.
I'll go into what I've done 3 or 4 times in the last week and a half is I've gone into their suggestions that Google has had to add certain things. And if it looks right, and then the whole, I guess you could call it sentence that goes with it,
Mhm.
then I'll add that as a keyword. And that kind of helped. It was kind of interesting because I had 2 responses were people from New Jersey looking for a mortgage. And here it was a negative keyword looking for mortgage. So
Right.
obviously I took that off.
Yeah.
But I have two one ad, but then you have the 2 headlines. The one is We Buy Houses Cash, and that's doing better than We Buy Houses.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just looked at it and the We Buy Houses for Cash has 8 conversions this month with 139 clicks.
Good for
wow,
you.
that is great.
Good.
That's
Keep
really
it up,
good.
whatever you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I could just keep playing around with that. But to go back to what I'm a little different because I've actually done wholesale deals and I took a few minutes a couple days ago because nobody in the office wants me around.
I hope it's because you're sick.
Well, yeah, because
Right.
because you get the sniffles and everybody gets scared to death. So I had to work from home, but I was playing around. And I pulled the 15 deals I did from 2016 through 18
Wow.
together an avatar. And in every case, it was an absentee vacant with the exception of 1 property. It wasn't vacant. And that was from a referral. I did one for the gentleman. And then he had one in Camden.
Mhm.
His first one was his first house, which he tried to rent out. And everybody's a failed landlord.
Yeah.
He inherited the house.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Every one of them, and it was amazing. And so with that in mind, I then pulled a list of people I'm working on now. We're going to send out 600 pieces to that same area in Georgia, which absentee vacant, 10 years or more of ownership, 60% of more of equity. And that's kind of what we're looking at.
Good.
All right.
Good. Well, I'm glad at least somebody's getting some leads from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Congratulations.
fantastic.
Slow. with
Yeah,
it.
That's
the-
encouraging.
It is.
yeah, the pay-per-click really caught me off guard. It really did.
Yeah.
Just
Great.
to get it. And it's actually amazing because I spent less this month than I had previous months where I got absolutely no results.
Yeah.
So your website, did you do a Freedom Logic website? Is that?
Yes. And I don't think that I had the proper conversion. So when we went through that step-by-step with Sean, I guess it was on Thursday, I changed it. And then Friday, when we were in the room doing what's holding you back, that's when he sat down and actually went through everything.
Yeah,
changed up a couple things, showed me about how to get rid of some negative keywords. And I think that's helped a lot.
Where did you put your or the event conversion? Did you put that on your step 2 page or on your thank you page?
I put it on all of them.
On all of them?
Well, no, there's
The global goes on all of them.
conversion key on all of them, but then the other two, the phone, I think you have to put on both the thank you and the landing page.
Right, but how about the event one, the one that creates the conversion? Where did you put that?
That's on every one of them, on every page.
Is it?
I believe so, yeah.
I think that's what we
Look, double check.
Because I think I took, that off of ours because all the conversions, were coming back like, every time they would go onto the site, I would get a conversion, but they weren't filling out the form.
And actually,
Right.
Ethan was the one that said to change it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Ethan told me to just
Ethan-
put it
Ethan's the one
on,
that said to just not put it on there,
I
'cause
think
it-
it's on the thank you page, but maybe it should be on the step 2 page.
I could have sworn it should have been on the landing page also.
I don't know about that.
See, I think the reason Ethan was saying just to put it on that last page is because your conversions, you're not really converting them. So you're getting all these, like we were showing all these conversions and no
lead forms.
lead
And no
form.
pass through.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're like, and that's when I believe he said to take them off all them pages, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So our
You know what
conversion
it is?
rate high, but-
I'm not that, I'm good at stuff if you show me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if it's not broke, I don't want to fix it.
yeah, well, I don't blame
Yeah,
you, no.
smart.
I don't even touch that website.
Don't go through it.
Since Sean went through and said everything looks good, I don't even touch it.
That's
You
great.
know, and I only go through and change in Google what I'm confident about.
Yeah,
Right.
smart.
Now, when we meet in March, if they have breakout sessions again, I'd love to do that again where,
Their breakout sessions, I
With
think, are
people.
really helpful for everybody.
Yeah,
especially for the pay-per-click.
I think so too. I have to agree.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah,
Well, yeah, that's rough. So, Stefan, what have you done this week? Anything spectacular?
No. Sorry, I really haven't. I got busy with a whole load of other stuff, racing stuff. So I really haven't done much.
that's
Well,
all right.
you know what, it's the holiday week. I think a lot of people are kind of like in downtime mode. We're trying to,
Yeah.
we have that one house under contract in Rhode Island, so we're trying to now find a buyer for it.
And it seems like nobody's working.
Yeah,
Seems like
nobody's working. Nobody's working.
everybody is
I'm
just-
leaving voicemails all over the place. People are going to come back to their office and be inundated with my voice.
Yeah.
Are you trying to sell it through to a rehabber or through a realtor? What are you trying to do?
Well, I've got a couple realtors that we've reached out to. I have
Couple hedge
a
funds that we
couple
reached
hedge
out to.
funds, and there's like on Facebook. I have posted it on Facebook, and somebody had reached out to me from Facebook, and they wanted to know a little bit more information about it. But I just got a photographer lined up. I'm waiting for, because there's a tenant in the property, so I'm waiting for the photographer to get the okay for the photographer to go through next week and take some inside photos, some updated photos. And then I think that's a big point right there, because I don't have updated photos for the property. But, you know, fingers crossed that somebody bites on it.
Yeah.
But again, holiday week, so it's really difficult to get
Yeah.
a hold of anybody in person.
Nobody's even answering phones, even at the hedge funds, they're not, you know, she's even emailing them and stuff and.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people take off this week.
Yeah.
I know, especially in our industry, I would suspect the hedge funds. When you get back to Monday, I think it's up and running again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I hope
hopefully.
so.
Hopefully.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed.
It's hard though. It's hard to sit back, especially when, you know, like you're used to like running to get stuff done, and it doesn't seem like anybody else is running this week. So,
Yeah. You know, Chris, the other thing I started thinking about and started putting in my own mind is when I got in the car business, and I direct this to Chris because he was in the automobile business. The first book I ever read was Joe Girard, How to Sell Anything to Anybody.
Yeah.
And the first thing he talks about is filling the Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
And your Ferris wheel's got to be full of prospects. And as one gets off because they bought someplace else or they bought from you, you
Yeah.
get to pull it back up.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with this PPC pipeline and the people with the yellow letter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I even go back now to I'm often reminded there's a gentleman out of Trenton named Steve Chatto who's been friends with Sean for years and years, and actually took me to my first event, yeah, back in 2016. And Steve, he'll stop sending mailers out, he and his partner, and then they'll just work their previous people who said, yeah, not ready, or they couldn't negotiate a deal. They go back and they find deals.
Yeah.
Go back and they find deals, even in this market, which this market's still crazy in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, you do, follow up is everything, and I agree with you, Charlie. Like you have to just do everything. You have to do as much as you can. One thing's going to slow up, the other one's going to produce.
Right.
You have to kind of keep getting things coming through the pipeline in order to be able to get the deals.
Yeah.
But I think at our level where everybody is, it's finding the most effective, most efficient way to bring in the leads, to keep fueling it.
That's a big thing for me.
That's the thing.
There was
Us.
there was a lead that I got actually when we had the last meeting there in Phoenix, and it was somebody that I'd talked to before, and it was his mother's house, and I'd asked the question, is it yours? Are you the legal agent? You're the power of attorney? And he said, yeah. And then when I followed up, he said, well, I still want to sell it, but it's gone to probate. And he said, nothing's going to happen until the probate meeting, which is the 2nd of February. And that blew me away. That was 4 months away. So Nancy, you were saying something where you'd send out lists to probate people, and then you heard back from a card that you'd sent some time ago. And maybe the probate is a little different because people are going through the probate, but it's not going to come up for a month or two. So
Right.
that's probably a very good list to follow up with. It's not that they didn't want to do something; they've got to wait till it goes through probate.
But you know what? At least in Florida, you can you can't close on the property, but you can get it under contract. You can structure it ready, and once it's done with probate, you can close the transaction.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's probably why they're not calling, because it's not, you don't really know that. Because probate's expensive. Sometimes people are intimidated by the probate process or can't afford the probate process. So the house sits there. These are usually the people that unfortunately can't pay taxes, or, they get behind on a lot of different levels. So they call you about that. But I've had people going to tax deed auction, that also need property probated at the same time. So it can be, you can definitely start working that deal, even though probate's not done.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Why do you give that guy a call?
There was one other thing. A good friend of mine here in Phoenix is an assessor. And I know Phoenix is kind of a hot market, but it seems like the whole country is hot. There's deals being done everywhere. And so I was asking him, what's your assessment of where we're at right now? Has it slacked off for Christmas? And he said he is so busy. He's got 2 people working for him, and he wishes he had more. And he said the difference between now and 2 weeks ago is that right now I'm not turning away 40 jobs a week because it's backed off just a little. But he said he's absolutely flat out. So with that in mind, I'm sure it's the same to some extent around the whole country. And there's so many people trying to do either wholesaling or fix and flip or whatever it is, trying to get properties. I think these lists that we're trying to get for texting and phone numbers or addresses for the yellow page, I think the secret there is having something that's very current, because there are so many people trying to do the same thing right now. And it probably doesn't matter whether it's PPC or texting or whatever media you choose. I think there's just so many people after properties now. The big thing, I think, is to have a list that is very current. So
Where do we get that?
is that the county
That's the
list,
challenge.
or is?
Yeah, how do you get that
Yeah.
list?
Well, yeah, that's,
Challenge.
I don't know if it's trial and error, or, You know, Nancy said something about the county lists are very good. Is REI is meant to update every day or every week with the county in every area. So the information that REI has is meant to be the latest that the county has provided.
Yeah, maybe it's just that it's not, the parameters are a little bit different, you know, because like I think it pulls stuff automatically. It uses like a program or something to pull that information. So it's showing, like, for example, the tax delinquents, it's showing like there's a tax delinquent property, but in reality, all that person owes is, it shows like it's owing, they do owe taxes. So, you know, REI Automator is picking that information up, but it's not, they're not truly delinquent because they just owe us
You're falling
taxes.
behind, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about the county list, though, they're not as clean as REI Automator. So you know, you spend a lot of time with the, you know, you have to get the VA to scrape it. And then you get more names and they're free. That's what I like about it. But then you know, you also get a lot of returns, I've noticed with them. But you know, when you pull from the county, you can actually sort of tailor the list a little bit more to what you're looking for. Like if you only want people that have 3 or more years of taxes, you can figure that out, or 2 more, you know. So it's just a little different. You know, you can be much more specific about what you're looking for, but it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, so anybody else have anything to add? I see Luther joined us. Let's see.
Hey, Luther.
We have Rick.
Hi guys, how you guys doing?
Hey, Luther, hey,
Hi,
Rick.
Good.
And Rick is,
So sorry for joining so late. I apologize.
that's okay. It's good to see you.
What's the good word, Luther?
I've been much more focusing on trying to close some deals, but I haven't been calling because it's only me.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
With the holiday, it's tough too, bothering people. You don't want to.
Oh, trying to call them right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
during the holiday, it's tough.
Yeah, I haven't been making calls at all. I've been trying to focus on just gathering like a list
Okay.
of buyers and stuff like that. But I haven't, you know, hit the phones as hard. I'm just working because I have like, I don't know. I'm trying to get one closed. Let me put it like that.
How many do you have under contract?
Right now I have 3. I have 2 more out, but one is like significantly a large amount, and the rest is just little.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So one is in the thousands where you'll be happy smiling, and one will pay the rent. And one will can pay the rent. The others will just pay the rent. So hopefully I get something closed.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that's the whole thing right now. That's what I'm focusing on. That's why I haven't been making calls. But starting next week, I need to start making calls over again because it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it by yourself, so it goes like from calling, and then I guess from contracts or whatever, and then finding the buyer, and then the cycle starts again to you have to build like that's how I think it's going to be. I haven't been in the business for that long, so that's what I think. It's just
So I have a question, Luther. When you say you're trying to get them closed, do you have buyers for them already?
So one of them I have a potential buyer with, which is the next door neighbor.
Okay.
And the others, no, I haven't started looking for buyers yet. I'm mostly focused on the big one really. So the little ones I'm going to get started on them like next week.
Okay. Because I was going to say, once you get the buyer, do you sort of go through the whole closing transaction with them, or do you use like a disposition, like a closing agent to kind of help you with that?
I would know. I would use my own title company. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but is there somebody that, like, once you have the buyer and the seller, and it's going to closing, there are all these different things that have to happen. And a lot of times, like the title company is calling you for information, or the seller's calling you with a question, or the buyer wants to kind of
Well,
renegotiate or whatever.
there's not
You-
too much of that going on.
Yeah,
So
good.
my seller is comfortable. I get them to a comfortable standpoint with me.
Right.
So so if I see something's wrong with the property and it was at a certain price before,
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you, look, this is the amount, there I can potentially, be
Right.
afforded.
Right. I was just thinking that maybe.
Stuff like that. So the way I present myself to the seller is as if I'm buying it and there's no one else involved.
Oh, okay.
So then I go look for the buyer and stuff like that. But some sellers I do that too, some sellers I don't.
Okay.
So it all depends on how comfortable enough. So this one I'm comfortable and like where our relationship is comfortable enough for. How the conversation is mutual. So
Yeah.
I just know it's not too much hassle going on with back and forth. The seller's just waiting for the deal to get closed so he could receive his fund. And the buyer is doing or her research she got going on, and I'm just waiting on a specific date. Soon as she doesn't get back to me, and now I'm going to really spread the word out to really get some more buyers.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. You'd have to jump in. But I was just thinking, because you're so busy, that maybe you could farm like a piece of that out, just like the closing manager or something.
You said I'm so busy. No, I don't
Yeah,
have.
you're busy because you've got these,
No, I
you've
don't
got to
have.
make calls, you've got to do everything. So.
Yeah, I've been doing everything myself. My friend does it himself too.
Okay.
It's hard. So basically this is what's going on with me. I'm not going to use my funds anymore. Like I need to make funds from this business. So I'm no longer, using my funds. So basically I need to basically make the deal that I'm working on. I need to make that money first, and then I'm going to hire people to, maybe 12,000 goes here, 15,000 goes there and stuff like that. But I'm just at the beginning stages, just like any one of everybody.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
So,
we're doing it ourselves too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just not there where, I can pay like a virtual assistant, but I'm going to rehire one. I had one before. So I have like two people. Well, I had a virtual assistant. I had her for like 2-3 months maybe. And this whole time I was doing like, I mean, I was doing the business, but the thing is, the fact that I was letting her do it, it wasn't, basically didn't get anywhere. You could ask Cedric. As soon as I told Cedric I'm going to be on the phone, guess what? I mean, I haven't closed anything, but I have a potential, because the virtual assistant wasn't being helpful. They were just eating up my funds and not producing. So I'm going to look for another one. Sometimes it's me. Of course, it can be my fault because I don't feel like I trained her properly, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rehire her, give her a second chance, because I believe in second chances, but I don't believe in third chances.
Right.
Second chances. So I'm going to rehire her because she's still asking me for work, and she wasn't bad. I just feel like I didn't train her well enough because I didn't know the business as well. So I'm still learning. I'm still a baby, really. So
yeah.
I just need to know more information, more of this, more of that, so I can know what's her role and what's this person role and what's this person role. It's something that eventually comes with time. Or you might be rich and have the money. Quite frankly, I'm just okay enough to live off my other business. That's about it. It's not like I'm rich, So
Yeah.
Luther, who was your coach?
My coach,
Yeah.
my coach was Brendan, but the thing is, I didn't really I didn't really stay in class like that, to be honest.
The reason why I ask is Damius was mine, and Damius does very well with his VAs. If you reach out to him,
Damius was mine too.
I do.
It was both of them, really.
yeah, but Damius does real well with VAs, and he's built his business. I think he's using 2 now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And he brought his VA on one of the classes, and she was talking to us and just giving us insight about her day. But if you reach out to Damius and say, hey, you know, for tips as to how to train the VA and maybe steps he took, it may save you a lot of time and money. Because Damius is very good.
That's true.
Well, he's very good, period. But he's especially good with that aspect.
That's good to know. That's good.
I'm basically trying to do, I'm not trying to have them jump on the phone. That
Right.
I already know that's on. I feel like that's a lot of people are trying to, you know, you have to find out what you're good at. So to me, I'm good on the phone. So I'm able to get people to sign over the phone. So like if I hire someone right now, it'll probably be potentially for skip tracing, maybe some marketing or helping me find buyers and stuff like that. But it wouldn't necessarily be for, you know, them really calling consistently and stuff like that, because I feel like they're not producing and they're wasting my leads, and I pay a lot of money for my leads. So I feel like the moment you run through 1,000 people, like you're just wasting leads, like, because the leads can be wasted if the person is hearing your voice over and over and they're telling you no. It's something that, you know, they either don't like, you know, they don't like the way you sound or something. But believe it or not, in those leads, there's a lot of people that has the potential to say yes. And I got these contracts and I didn't even finish like a batch of 1,000.
Wow.
I didn't even finish, yeah. And then I had at least 10 or 12 contracts out. And out of the 12, I got a couple signed. So it's just, I feel like the moment that person pick up the phone, I don't know, I'm just good on the phone. So it's just, that's how, I might be wrong too.
Good.
That's easy for you.
I don't want to
Yeah.
sound.
Other people, it's a little more difficult for. I know we were talking to Chris and Misty, they're out of Colorado. And Misty, not Chris and Missy. Brandon had them on last week, and they run VAs to do cold calling, and they run like 10,000 numbers a month. And where are they out of, Venezuela? Where are they at?
They're out of El Salvador.
El Salvador is where they're getting their cold callers
And she
from.
said that they're like they pay them like $3 an hour,
And
and
she
they
said
give
that
them
they
like
really,
bonuses.
she said that they really produce. Like they get like 4 deals a month out of these VAs
Yeah, it's crazy.
that they're using out of South. Now
She's
they put a lot of time in training them.
Yeah,
But
like every day they do like training
meetings
meetings
and stuff, but they're getting great response from them. They're giving them like 10,000 numbers a month, and they're calling. She says, and it's working really well for them.
Yeah.
Are they
like,
monitoring their conversations?
I'm sorry.
What?
Are they
Like, you have-
monitoring the VA's conversations?
Yes.
I
yeah,
think
you
that's-
have to. I believe you have to. That was my main mistake. I really think that you have, that's a must.
Yeah, she seemed to say that she was putting a lot of time into them, like every day,
every day.
which
Right.
they would
But
have a meeting every
she's
day.
on Discord. So I mean, I've asked her a couple times, a couple questions.
That's all about training.
It is, but I don't
Yeah.
know how to do the monitoring though. So I'm going to reach out to her again to talk more about it. And she's very agreeable to helping out.
Well, I
so.
think she said that the calling platform that they use actually records all the calls. So I'm assuming she just goes through the day and just listens. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm sure that's how she's monitoring. And then the next day giving them feedback on what it is that she thought that they may have done wrong and what they could do better and what they've done good.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think VAs are the next, just like Sean was saying, I think it's the next thing because they're very cheap. I was paying one $4. It's not bad at all. I mean, especially things are getting expensive in the US, seeing gas prices. Things are getting very expensive out there. So it's always good to think of a good way to save at this time right now.
Yes, I mean, the VAs are out there and you can make them work. You just training them, I guess.
Train them, yeah. I'm going to hire one because I am doing a lot myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So-
Or I'm trying to get some deals, enough deals in, but the deals are not big enough. And so me and you guys could JV on some, anybody within the chat group, because I don't care about, I just needed to get them out fast, really.
Yeah.
Right, you just need to get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so eventually if I'm really producing like a good amount, I'm going to JV on those with you guys for sure.
All right,
That's
that's
a,
awesome.
that's a great
It's
idea.
awesome. It is.
Better have half a loaf than no loaf.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey,
Exactly. I
Rick,
mean,
have you been doing anything, Rick?
anything what?
It was Rick.
Rick is on too, and I don't think he's given us his take on anything yet. He's been very quiet. Rick,
Rick.
Yeah, this week I got my domain and I got my logo. Took me 2 days just to get the logo figured out with Fiverr, but I finally got that done.
All right,
good.
good.
In the last 2 days, I've done nothing, so I'm about ready to start. I told you last week to start building my website, so I still haven't gotten there yet, but that's where I'm headed next. But I did want to ask, because I hear all of you talking about VAs, everything is about systems, and was curious if somebody had those systems like Luther was talking about. He didn't train his VAs well. Well, if somebody has that system in place that they could share, that would be really cool, because that would help the rest of us train VAs.
Well,
We're gonna have to reach out there.
maybe
and see
that's
if we
something that
find
we
somebody,
can,
yeah.
I know that we're supposed to have Gia come in and talk to us about comping on the 13th, but maybe I'll reach out to Lisa and see if there's somebody that might be able to come on and talk to us about, how to go about the whole VA, system.
So
Would not
I
be
don't know
a
who
bad
was
idea.
on Sean's meeting earlier, but there was somebody that that I believe Corey was saying, another guy another successful guy does a lot of VA and is very successful with it. That's in our organization, that's in Sean's organization. So I'm wondering maybe if we can reach out to them and maybe they would,
It's all about the VAs right now.
It is, it seems like
Yeah,
everybody.
I definitely need to create a copy of myself. I need that. I need, that would definitely
I like
help.
that confidence.
Yeah, that would definitely help if I could find a copy of myself.
So did you say like maybe have somebody from Corey's organization
No,
on? Is that what you
No,
said?
they were talking today on Sean's meeting, and he was saying, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was saying somebody that they know that does really well, has VAs that I think he was saying that they do extremely well with.
No,
Like Egyptian VAs, right? The guy that was
Yes.
talking about. this
Yeah,
issue.
Egyptians, yes. All right, so you heard it,
that
right? Yeah.
was Corey, yeah.
Was it Corey?
I
that was
believe
doing
it was because.
Yeah, it was Corey.
Rhonda was on the meeting and she actually sent me a link. I don't know if anybody else is on Upwork. I'm on it for a couple of our businesses, and there is a virtual assistant for Egyptians on there. So
Oh, really?
yeah, yep. So that was kind of interesting. So maybe, then they say that, well, I think you heard it, Nancy, that they speak.
Yeah,
Wow.
good English, and they understand the English culture. They understand our culture here.
Yeah, so that they flow a little
Yeah.
bit easier
Yeah.
because they're more familiar with it.
But
It's
the truth of the
funny.
matter is with VAs, like they're saying, I mean, it seems to be anybody you call. It seems to be that they're all, foreigners. They're not in this country.
Yeah.
It seems to be any big company you call, corporation you call. It seems to be that there's somebody on the other end that is, from a different country.
Mhm.
Yeah,
This is true.
everywhere.
It is. It's everywhere.
Yep. But that's okay. It's all right. They know the answers to the questions you're asking.
Yep.
That's all that matters, right?
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed looking at Sean's spreadsheets and goals and stuff like that. Yeah, he's like way up here and I'm way down here, but it's a nice concept. It's something to think about, and something to kind of, I'd be happy with like a quarter of that amount of revenue for this year.
I'm hoping he shares those spreadsheets with us because that's
Yeah.
that's key.
I didn't find it intimidating or I thought it was actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Did Sean send us that spreadsheet through
Not
email or something?
I haven't
Not
done it
yet.
He did not?
Mm-mm.
It said something about he had to tweak it a little bit or something, and then he was going to put it out there. So hopefully by next year, it never gets old.
Yeah, I have to have that meeting with myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Please
Go
do
through
it.
my numbers.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, does anybody else have anything they want to add?
No, I just been over here explaining everything that's going on to my friend.
All right,
Okay.
good.
Kenny.
Hi, nice to meet you. My
Hi.
name's Kenneth.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice to
meet you.
Hopefully we can get
Nice
you
to
on
meet y'all
board.
too. For sure, I'm very interested. I've always been really intrigued by like the potential, the potential that's there in the real estate market, and I'm really like excited to learn, and based on what I've heard from y'all's conversations, it sounds really like something I really want to get into and learn about. So that's awesome what y'all got going on. I like how y'all are all holding each other accountable, and I think that's what it's all about in terms of like learning and growing and like setting goals and moving forward with that. So yeah, my name, just to like say a little bit about myself, I go to UH. I'm at Bauer in the business school.
All right, good.
So I'm in my last semester, so I'm really just like I said, like my friend said, he's also been inspiring me within what he's been doing and the knowledge I've gotten from him so far. So he just introduced me to this group, and yeah, just I'm really excited to learn as much as I can going forward.
Cool. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
great.
we're here to
Well,
help.
Yeah, we're here to help. So the more the merrier.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
All right. Well, does anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
I think Stefan left us.
Oh, what-
2022 is going to be awesome.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna
Listen.
be
It's gonna be
stellar
a great
year.
year. And we're gonna
And
make
we
more
don't
progress.
know when the next in-person meeting is yet, right?
No,
I-
they haven't
Sometime in
shipped it out
March.
yet.
Okay, it's
But I have a question. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead, Nancy.
oh, no big deal. I was just wondering whether it would be the beginning of March or the end of March, but I don't think we know that yet.
don't
I
know.
was wondering, with the scorecards they were talking about in the other meeting, are we all supposed to get those
Yes.
papers? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna post it on the Discord or something, and we can.
Okay.
And if anybody's interested, because I just have to tweak stuff all the time. I sent a copy to Stefan. I revised our seller lead sheet a little bit and added a second sheet for like follow-up calls. And I made it into a fillable PDF form so that you can actually just call it up on the computer and fill it out on the computer. If you're talking to
That would be
somebody
cool.
and it's easier to do that. So if you guys are interested, I can send you, I can put the link to the PDF file in the Discord. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
That would be great.
Yeah.
thank you.
The way that Missy laid it out, I think it flows a little better than Sean's. It's a little easier to fill it out and understand what's next. And Sean's tends to have a lot of stuff piled on top of each other. So I'd recommend looking at that. I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if it's printed, sorry.
Yeah, I think most of Sean's stuff is for receiving calls.
Well,
instead of making.
the lead sheet that we got at the, when we were at the conference, our first conference, he gave us this lead sheet to use. But I found like I was not asking questions that I needed to ask, like what type of heat does the house have?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Gas, electric.
Mhm.
I kept forgetting to ask about the kitchens. Have your kitchen been updated? Because I'm the type of person that has to look at the sheet and read off the sheet until I get comfortable enough. And I think for first
Right.
timers going in, if you don't have that in front of you, you might not remember to ask it. And then, somebody says, well, what's the kitchen look like? And you're like, oh crap, now I got to call the guy back. So it was easier for me to do this. And then somebody, and Stefan suggested the second sheet, so that this way, if you have conversation going forward and you actually make an offer, and then you need to put things down like what title company you used, or what the offer, like you made an offer, they countered it. You need to write that down, and then you need to write down exactly what they accepted your offer of. So that needs to be in there. So I kind of added that on the second sheet, and that's called like the follow-up call, because the first sheet, you're getting the information. The second sheet is when you're hitting them with what you want to buy the property for. So,
Right.
and it's all, like I said, you can fill it all out on the computer while you're talking to them. It makes it a little easier if you have chicken scratch for handwriting.
like me.
like Chris. I can't understand. Makes it easy. So
That
I'll
sounds
put that link out there for you guys. And I guess that's it. That's my Christmas
Yeah.
present to you.
good.
Thank you. That sounds very nice.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you guys have a happy new year.
Everybody have a happy new year. And we look
Thank
forward to
you.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, we'll see you
Happy New
next
Year. We'll see
week.
you all next
Yep.
week.
Meet y'all.
Be safe.
Be safe,
Yep.
guys.
All
You
right.
too. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Happy
Bye.